16 of the 3320. And I think we're good. Welcome to part 2 of our 3-part Xtreme DIY series, brought to you by 8020. Last month we laid the groundwork for our storage and tool cabinet. We had a rough design and we took that to Josh, our 8020 expert, for more specifics. From there we finalized our design and we ordered our parts and pieces. So I've got my order and I'm looking over everything to make sure it's all here. And one thing that's helpful is our profiles are individually tagged, as you can see here. This is a service that 8020 offers to help cross-reference our packing list to make it a little bit easier. Now, as with all 8020 orders, the profiles are hand-washed to remove shavings and oil so you can begin right away. So in this case, I'm going to break it into 3 main parts: a left, a middle, and right section. We're going to focus on the middle section first. From there, we're going to build a U shape with some crossbars using end fasteners on our corners and anchor fasteners for our shelf supports. If you want to get hands-on with these fasteners, be sure to request your free sample kit. So with any build, the first thing you want to do is preload as much as possible. In this build, we're going to preload the end of our profiles with some end fasteners, so that when we're ready to install them, we can slide them right into place. So for this frame, we're going to take the profile and slide our end fasteners right into the open T-slot. Now, as Josh mentioned before in our last video, there's no guesswork or measuring with our end fastener. We simply line up the access hole with the end fastener and tighten it down with a wrench. Now, we also mentioned that we're going to use anchor fasteners for our shelves. So we'll take our anchor fastener, simply drop it into the counter bore, and then we'll slide it into the open T-slot. But we're not going to tighten it down all the way, just enough to hold it into place while we put the other half of the frame on. From there, we'll be able to adjust it for our shelves. Now, one quick tip: if you need a little more wiggle room, loosen up your end fasteners. That'll allow you to slide your shelves wherever you need them and then tighten them into place. So we've got the first half of our build roughly in place. From there, we're going to install our panels for our shelves. Now, to do that, we'll take our panel, drop it into the open T-slot, and that's going to create a little bit of a lip to hold our cans and other tools in place while we're moving the cabinet around. Now we're going to go ahead and install the rest of the shelves, then we'll put on the top panel and our side panels. After these panels are in, I'm going to replicate this half to make the other half of my middle section, then bring it all together. Then it's on to some more preloading. So it's important we install these hinges before we move on, because once we install our base profiles, our uprights are going to be captivated and we won't be able to install our hinges. So we'll make sure that they're right in the open T-slot. And it doesn't really matter where we put them or if we even tighten them down, as long as they're in the T-slot. Now, one quick tip: if you happen to forget to preload these, or you have an existing project that you need to install something on a captivated profile, you can use our roll-in or drop-in T-nut. They simply go straight into the T-slot, and then you can bolt down whatever you need from there. Now, once we have our hinges in, we're ready to move on to the base profiles. In the last video, I settled on locking threaded stem casters for mobility. I could have threaded them directly into the end of the profiles, but instead I opted to go with base plates. These let me put the caster on the face of the profiles. It adds a bit of a stronger connection since I'll be rolling it around quite a bit. So I'm ready to install my casters, but the first thing I want to do is preload my base plate with bolts and T-nuts. Now, once we have that done, we'll slide into the open T-slot. We're going to line up the threaded hole on the base plate with the drill-through hole on our profile. Get that lined up, and we'll take our wrench and we'll tighten that down. From there, we'll take our caster and we're going to feed it through the base plate and into the profile for a little extra security when it's moving around. Now, once we have these casters installed, we're done with our middle frame and we're ready to move on to our right and left frame. With the middle subassembly finished up, we can now focus on the sides. We're going to start with the left side first. This is the side that will have the flip-up work table in it. So to start this section, we're going to start with a small frame, which is actually going to be where our table attaches. Once our small frame is complete, we can add our uprights, shelves, panels, and then our base, similar to our middle section. We've got our frame underway, and we used end fasteners just like our last frame to bring it all together. But before we cap it off, we have a few more things we need to do. We're going to add a pivot nub for our work surface. We'll put a bolt and a T-nut in it, slide into the open T-slot, Now, it doesn't matter really where we put this for now, as long as we lightly tighten it down so we can adjust it later. From there, we'll take our pivot arm with our double T-nut, we'll put it into the side of the nub and tighten it down. From there, we'll be able to attach a profile that's actually going to connect to our work surface and help it flip up and down. Now, one last thing we need to do before we cap this off is install our chalkboard panel. Now, this is going to slide into the open T-slot just like a lot of our other panels, and then we can cap it off with one last bar using end fasteners. From there, we'll run our uprights alongside our frame, add in another cross support for our second shelf for our bins. Then, just like the middle section, we'll add our second half and some T-nuts for the hinges and finish it all off with our base and casters. We now have 2 of our 3 sub-assemblies for our build complete, and all that's left is the right side. This side will be built the same way as the left, just without the small frame, making it even easier. So just like before, uprights and shelf supports, panels, second half, T-nuts for our hinges, and finally our base and casters. For our outside panels, we have 2 different types. We have our HDPE, which is going to serve as our whiteboard, and then we have diamond tread plate. Now, all these panels are going to connect to the outside part of our profile using roll-in T-nuts. But we're going to save that for next time, where we go out on location and bring all of our sub-assemblies together and add on a few accessories. But until then, if you want to get hands-on with 80/20 profiles and fasteners, go to 8020.net and request your free sample kit today. But until then, thanks for watching and make it a great day.